Dynamite Delight. Alright. We got AEW Dynamite. A heavy beatdown show because almost in every segment we got people getting beat down. But let's put something in perspective before we get started here. As you all know, many people are going to say that AEW Dynamite is not doing very well. There's going to be other people that say that it's incredibly great right now. What's wrong with you? I'm going to give you a pretty decent and honest assessment of what's going on with AEW as it stands, trying to take a negative that has been with them for quite a while, which was from CM Punk and his talking of AEW, and seeing have they made something positive of it, which is the main storyline, and the Bucks basically being in control of AEW, where Tony Khan has no input, supposedly, where there's a major issue with that, but I'll get to that in a minute if I don't forget, because there's a lot here. I may forget something. You can ask me in the comments. If I seem to forget something, just ask me in the comments, because I'm not like all these guys. Yeah, I got notes. Yeah, you can see I got notes, but even with the notes, there's always something you're going to forget. Always. I don't care who you are, you forget something. So if I do forget, just leave a comment below. Let's open with knowing that Taz has been out for about a week. He'll be coming back next week. Something must have happened. Maybe it might have been because of his knee or something. I don't know. But he's not there right now. He had some type of issue. I think he had surgery or something. I don't know. But he's supposed to come back. But we'll find out. Maybe he'll explain it. Or maybe they'll show it. Now, being in Edmonton was not bad. I didn't have a problem with the fans. The fans were pretty damn good there. They weren't perfect, but they were good. Opening of the show. Orange Cassidy opens the show against Trent Beretta. Now, before we get started, there was one thing that did happen just before Orange came out. Now, I don't know if I'm going to put images in. I might not, but I do have to mention this. That as you guys know, fans can be fans and fans can be horny fans. And at one point, we saw a woman going like this, and the guy who's right next to her, she's wearing like a tank top with a black underlining of it, and he pulls it to try and expose her titties. Now, if you didn't notice that, and that's going to be mentioned again when it comes to Harley Cameron, because I got something to say about her. But seeing this on international national television, it shows that AEW something could happen anytime. But does it make a good image for AEW, or does it make it a bad image? I can't tell you either way. That's going to be up to you as a fan and how you feel about it if you're watching with your friends, with your family, possibly with your children, and something like that happens, particularly with a girl by your side that's either your girlfriend, your daughter, your mother. It's going to be something you're going to have to discuss afterward if they get offended or if you as a man gets offended. It's on you to make that determination. But it should be mentioned that this incident did happen. I don't know if just Alex is going to talk about it. I don't know if it's JD or Solomonster or Grim or maybe the Sleg Daddy, which he doesn't really do a lot of videos often. If he saw this and he wants to talk about the two women whose titties showed a little bit, it's going to be on whatever podcaster may mention it, maybe. But did the Orange Cassidy match come out pretty good? Now, it came down to, this wasn't an anything goes match. It was not a no DQ match. It was a standard match. But the ref just let them do whatever they wanted, wandering amongst the fans and basically being really rough with them, trying to get them back in the ring. And this was, as far as I remember, even after the ring bell had been rung. I'm giving you like this. From the moment they got out there, from the bell rang until then, most of the time they weren't following the rules, and the ref was just letting them do whatever they go. And since it was, Excalibur said the ref is giving a lot of leeway, they should have just turned it to an anything goes match. Because there's no way this wasn't going to be like that. Now, Trent didn't give Orange one pile driver. He gave him 3. 2 during the match and 1 after the match was over. The big question right now, and of course, Trent didn't win, which I thought he should have. But seeing how the story went with Orange with a Don Callis, who did come out and filled in for let's make let's make it clear. He filled in for Taz. That's what he was there for. He filled in, and then he did his bit working with Orange Cassidy, where we still don't know Orange lies. Big question. You would think this is for Trent. Maybe. He's working with Orange, but Trent is the one he really wants, and that could be Don Callis. That's where it looks. And then you do see Chris Statlander come out saying, what are you doing? It's still a big question. Where they going, left or right? Excuse me. My allergies are up. I went outside and I forgot to take my allergy medicine. That was the worst mistake I could have made, because the pollen right now is beginning to get to this size now. Soon, it'll be this size. Guys, in New York, when it gets really, the flowers really bloom and stuff, pollen can get this big. You think I'm joking, it can get this big, really big and fluffy. But if I sneeze, I'm sorry, but you get my point. Next match, we get, and this kind of fits in what I was talking about, the women with their titties showing. This is a strange one, because I have not seen Saraya on Dynamite in maybe 5 or 6 months. You guys could tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe it was 3 or 4 months. But as far as I remember, Saraya has not been on Dynamite for at least 5 months, going up to 6. And I never saw her much at all on Collision. It's been she's been on Rampage, which is a big mistake. And this pisses me off when it comes to, and I will get to Selena Deeps when it comes to my taste is Toni Storm, if I don't forget. But this kind of pisses me off. I remember Jess, Alex, and JD said that she's going to come in and she's a freaking game changer. And where's she been all these months? Rampage? They had so many new women come in that had name and variety. Ty Valkyrie, Ruby Soho, who right now, if you don't know, you might not know, when it comes to Smooth Hand Parker, he's going to be a daddy, because guess what? Ruby Soho's pregnant. They were having a real relationship. Now she's pregnant, which we never saw the storyline. This pissed me off. This is what I'm talking about. Ruby Soho came in. They almost did nothing with her. Athena came in. She's stuck on ROH TV. And yes, she has one of the best runs, but she's doing nothing on AEW directly. You got Saraya, who we haven't seen in maybe 5 to 6 months. Where's she been? Barely on Collision and almost nowhere on Dynamite. Just Rampage and maybe ROH. We have so many women that could have been and should have been spotlighted for months. I just saw Emi Sakura, Miss Who I Love Freddie Mercury, who was the queen that I talked about more than a few times over the months. She did that, what was it, O-City type of deal that's on AEW TV. Well, they got that little TV that with, what is the guy's name? City, I forgot his name. She can speak English. What the fuck? Why will you not book her to talk? Even if she doesn't talk great English, she speaks English. Where's the storyline? I'm just saying. Now, the match here. When you see the match, it's obvious that Mariah May versus Harley Cameron, Mariah May looks better. She actually looks more refined. She looks like she's a better wrestler. But it's almost like Harley Cameron looks like a diva. She's acting like a diva. And then worse yet, and this is where it comes into. Let's make this clear. If I have decided to put images into this would be one of the few I'm going to put in. You can see on her chest a nipple beginning to pop out. If I put it in there, counting if I haven't decided yet, because my eyes are itching like crazy right now. I can't take my medicine, because if I had, I would be asleep right now. So if you're wondering, dude, you took your medicine? No, I can't, because I'll fall asleep. It's a strong medicine for my allergies when it gets bad. But Cameron, a bit of her titty popped out. And then it popped out again. And next to her not being a very refined wrestler and her hair going all over the place, you're wondering, because they showed it. If I showed the image, I might do it. One of the few I'll show. Her titty is showing. Her nipple, her areola is showing. It's not hair there. That's her titty. And you're going like, she really isn't that knowledgeable. Look, I'm not saying that women want people to see how big their titties are. No. But there are women like Jade Cargill, who was smart enough when she was in AEW to wear pasties on her nipples. When it came to, like in TNA or Impact Wrestling, when it came to Jordynne Grace, she also wore pasties over her nipples because she knew there was a good possibility that her tit may pop out. Both of them knew their tits could pop out, so they didn't want people to see their nipples. They understood the situation. Now, not everyone is interested in doing that. They may get uncomfortable about it, but this is one of the problems you're going to have with national and international TV. We saw Harley Cameron's nipple pop out of her top. It was a clear shot. It is obvious that was her titty, popped out of her top. She was so concerned about looking good for the camera, going like this, throwing Mariah May onto the floor and onto the mat, more the floor. And she pretty much was exposing her titty. I don't know if they'll be charged $10,000 or $20,000 for nudity or the women's breast being shown, but I'm sure someone's going to notice. Someone's either like a botchamania may grab that shot. I'm just saying. Moving on, what do we got when it comes to this situation? When you see that, Sakura had to save her because you got Saraya beating down a Mariah May because, unfortunately, Selena Deeps was not there. I will talk about that in a moment when it comes to Taste of Toni Storm and Selena Deeps. Well, not Selena. No, I'm sorry. Taste of Toni Storm was not there. I said Selena Deeps. I'm getting a little confused. I'm sorry. Because I'm like, why can't I have a girlfriend like that? But you get my point. People are going to get distracted away from the story if they're thinking Mariah May is not showing nipple, but Harley Cameron is. Can we see more titty, please? And then we get the beatdown from Saraya, and then, what is her name? Sakura, who came from Stardom, I believe came from Stardom and DDT, came to save her. She saved her. She looks like she's going to kiss her. She doesn't. Then they get something to drink, and they dance around. And that's what we got in that segment. One of the few things we're getting from the women's division that is sexualized. That is something of a story, but then it's not connected to Toni Storm. Now, Selena Deeps come out. We're going to Selena Deeps and Toni Storm. Selena Deeps comes out explaining what's going to happen at Double or Nothing and reason why this means more to her than anyone. And she does talk about her 3 seizures. If you don't know about that, look for one of my Gump reports. It's not too far back. I don't really keep a playlist of my Gump report. Maybe someone might want to say, dude, maybe you should. Well, maybe, I don't know. But if you want to know, just look through my original video list. You should see it. It's not that far back, maybe about 4 months. Or was it 3 months or 4 months? But I did make a video on it. But she talks about it. And then Toni Storm comes out black and white and then goes to color and said, I thought I was going to have a talk here and nothing but a pity show. She pulls something out of her titty and throws it at a Selena Deeps and say, you're nothing but a damn charity case. And she gets up into her face. And Selena Deeps says, you have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea who you're dealing with. And when that happens, a Taste of Toni Storm tries to deck her. And what do we get? Selena Deeps decking her back. She doesn't really hit her, but Selena Deeps does. And lays her ass out. That's what we got from Selena Deeps. She laid out the champion. She is pretty much, and this is what makes me happy. Because let's make this clear. Selena Deeps is one of the few women who's a very well-known veteran who worked with CM Punk, who worked on directly WWE's mainline roster in one of his more prominent storylines of the Straight Edge Society. She has done something good with her time. She's well known as a good wrestler. She's well known to have worked with the Straight Edge Society. CM Punk, she used to have huge boobs, which many people really kind of miss, which I kind of miss. She was sexy with the boobs, but I can understand if she wanted to get rid of them to not have strain in the back. I understand that. I used to be with 2 heavy-chested women, so I can understand it can be hard for women. And maybe she just thought, you know, big tits are nice and all, but it's hurting me. My back is killing me. I'm tired of it. I'm just having them taken out. That's just how it is. But she's so well known. She became NWA champion when NWA was really hot back in 2019, which they're not right now. She has worked her ass off. and she could have been the first TBS champion, but they didn't go anywhere. There's a strong sense that she should be something. I don't know if she'll be champ. I have this feeling they will not let her have that title. But if she did have it, it would be a nice story because we got someone who had 3 freaking seizures, gone for 15 months because of it, didn't know what was going on. This could be a good story. But it counts if they're going to pull the trigger on it. I don't know. Next, let's do Swerve Strickland. Swerve with Christian. I know I botched that a little bit, but I had to do it that way because I'm thinking when it comes to Swerve and how the story he had and Christian with the patriarchy, you're thinking, is this really about Christian? Or is this about something a little bit more than Christian? It's still a big question. Was their exchange good? Yes, it was good. It wasn't a bad exchange. Seeing that the Mogul affiliates came out to back up Swerve, but then basically nail Swerve afterward, it makes you think 2 things. 1, if you're an observant person, you're going to say, how the fuck are they going to betray him? We barely seen the Mogul affiliates with him. It makes no sense that they would betray him now. 2, what happened to the Mogul affiliates talking with the patriarchy? Talking with, when it comes to Christians, setting that up. Why didn't we see that? That's what you're going to think. Why didn't we see Swerve not get anywhere because the Mogul affiliates should talk to him when it comes to Prince Nana? And then, what about when it came to Christian? We didn't see anything from that. We didn't see anything with the Mogul affiliates dealing with him. But it's alright, because they did address it when they went to the back. Christian going in front of the EVPs, he says, and I quote, "This was a great idea of yours." He says, "Thank you for doing business." Well, Christian said, "I'm glad to be doing business with you." They said, "We're glad that's done." I can't remember who said this was a great idea. I think it was Christian who said it to Matt and Nick. So at least they did address it. So that means Matt and Nick set up Swerve with Christian and the Mogul affiliates. There you go. Next, the match that really didn't mean much to me personally, and particularly, I don't know what the ending was because I had to go and take a piss. That is Rocky Romero versus AJ White, which makes no sense why he doesn't have one new title of the unified titles of the trios. He has 3. You guys tell me below. Why is the Bang Bang Gang holding 9 titles? The ROH titles? The AEW Trios titles? And if I'm right, that's supposed to be the unified AEW Trios titles. Why are they holding 9 sets of titles? Why? This is what fucking pisses me off. They know they need to do something with this. Now, if it's maybe the New Japan Pro Strong Trios titles, I'm alright with that. But I don't know. I didn't check. And when I looked at AEW during a commercial to see if there was anything there, I didn't see anything talking about them getting titles from another company. If those titles are from a rival company, fine. But if they're not from a rival company, you see me getting angry and my nose is itching because my allergies are killing me. If they didn't come from either AAA or New Japan Pro Strong, if those are the Unified Trios Championship for AEW, why the blue fuck are they still holding on to the ROH 6-man tag and the old Trios titles? Get fucking rid of them. I hate it. I don't know who won, but I'm probably sure that Rocky might have won. And now Rocky, when he was talking to Orange, said, "Dude, let me see if I can talk to find an extra partner for us." There you go. And, well, technically he did say something about Trent, and he did not like it. He took off his and said, "What?" And then he put it on. Okay. It is obvious. There's something going on. Next, the Learning Tree versus Jobbers from Edmonton. Didn't last long. Chris put over Big Bill or Billy. And pretty much that's what we generally got. Next, the TNT Championship. Let me give it to you like this. Seeing the TNT Championship match was a good damn match. Seeing the blood, that was good. It was a no DQ match. Pretty much anything goes. In the end, I didn't expect Adam to job here. He's not going to job here. But then we saw Kyle O'Reilly trying to help Adam after the Brody King loss. And Brody did a good job. I'm saying as a good big man, he's a good wrestler, as a good big man. I'm just thinking he could be a singles competitor. They really do need them. Because I'm sick and tired of seeing Lance. I don't hate Lance Archer. I like Lance Archer. But he never gets anything done. You can have him dominate every singles match until a title match. Or something that's important. And he fucking chokes. Because they don't want a real big man to do a damn good job for all the smaller guys they got there. So that's what it comes down to. But with Brody King, I truly believe they could let him do it. Yes, he's a big-ass man, but I feel like they can go there with him. They bitched out Lance Archer so much. I just don't care about him now, even though I don't hate him. Now, Kyle O'Reilly saves him and says, when we go into my hometown, because they'll be in Canada next week. No, not next week. This Saturday, I believe they're going to be live. It's going to be a match between Adam and the Kyle O'Reilly, which is not bad. I don't really care. It's alright. But now almost forgot. Collision and Rampage are now together on one show. 3 hours. So we're getting 3 hours either one week and 3 hours another week. So, in this situation, it's not Dynamite that's getting 3 hours. It's Collision that's getting 3 hours. Next week, will it be Dynamite getting 3 hours? I don't know. We'll find out. Now, the Kenny segment, talking at emergency. Let me give it to you like this. Was it done right? Yes. He also talked about he has to take care of this. I don't know if they're really talking about him actually getting the surgery. You never know. But he wants an 8-man tag, I believe, done at the Double or Nothing, and it's going to be an Anarchy at the Arena match. He cannot participate in it. He can't. He just can't do it because he's not ready yet. Or maybe never again. He may never be able to do that type of match ever again because of his condition. So, seeing that, it's okay. I'm not having a problem with it. Seeing that he had the FTR set up for that was fine. And they did address it. They actually did an overrun of 10 minutes? To address the entire situation, next to Will Nightingale having her moment to talk, and Mercedes Moné having a minute to talk. Well, Mercedes, I thought, was to finish. And I thought, well, it's good to see they're going to let her close the show. But no, it was the Bucks, it was Okada, it was a Jack Perry talking about what's going to happen, that we're willing to do the Anarchy in Arena, whoever it is with FTR, we don't care. And we get FTR coming out. We get Eddie Kingston, and we get Bryan Danielson. They go to the ring, and the fight breaks out, and that's how they end the show. So, let's make this very clear. This entire situation we're seeing with the Bucks is stemming off of just one thing. Trying to take a shit burger and trying to make it into something. And I want to make this clear. I do want to make this clear. If anybody sees this and think JD and Alex are right saying, tell me when I'm telling lies with CM Punk, it's not about that. This is about what a company tries to do to compensate for that. I'm not telling you that he's 100% lying. Let's make this clear. We know AEW's been having problems for over 2 to 3 years easily because of one person, that's Tony Khan, not really taking full control and not separating himself from the wrestlers. He's trying to be a nice guy to them, and not only to take an advantage, he's letting too much happen on the damn roster next to not booking the roster correctly. Look at what I said about Emi Sakura. She's on a silly talk show that usually the AEW shows every couple of weeks. And she speaks freaking English. And instead of booking her correctly and making something out of her, they don't. They don't. She's one of the most senior wrestlers they got there. Even if she's a Japanese wrestler, woman has wrestled over 30 years. 30 years the woman's been wrestling and they can't make some type of story with her? Are you freaking serious? It's stupid. So Tony has been the major issue. We know it. No one's saying, hey, CM Punk's lying about it. But let's make it clear. This is the result of that. This shitburger they had, whether you like it or not, and I'm saying that when it came to him, he didn't need to do it. Not saying that we didn't know it already. He just wanted to do because that's CM Punk. Whether you say, well, he's not lying, tell me when he's telling lies. This is not about him lying. This is about what AEW did in response to it. A reaction to his action. And this is the stories we're getting right now out of AEW. Some of them seem very interesting. Some of them seem very scatterbrained. Some should have already been started. Some are not started. We don't know where they're going. They're still like this, trying to find a way by reacting to the situations that's put in front of them instead of acting. They need to act instead of react. But until they're ready to finally say, okay, stop. Let's take a break here a moment. We keep reacting to anybody who says something or anything that happens. We need to just act. Until they do that, we're going to get what we're getting now. We could be actually getting very good TV or very bad TV. It depends on your perspective. This is what we're going to have. Just Alex is going to give his perspective. I have no idea if he even likes what's going on. Or JD, or Solomonster, or Grimm, or the Wrestling Inc. podcast, or the Off the Rope Show Central in the Slag Daddy. I don't even know if he cares about this situation. Maybe he'll care about when the nipple popped out for that woman, which I don't know if I put the images in. I'm still thinking about it. But this is what we got. Peace. That was a lot.